Salt isn't one ingredient, it's the only rock you eat. It's caused wars, and you're probably using it wrong every single day. So let's build the blueprint: 3 types of salt, each used at a specific moment for a specific reason. We start with the workhorses, the salt sitting in your shaker right now. This is the salt that dissolves, that seasons, that builds the invisible structure of flavor. And the real difference here isn't taste, it's geometry. Table salt is engineered for precision. Under a microscope, every grain is a perfect cube, dense, uniform, built to dissolve instantly. That's why it dominates baking and liquids. 1 teaspoon here is the same as 1 teaspoon there. No guesswork, kosher salt is built differently. Larger, lighter flakes, irregular, almost jagged, and that changes everything. You can feel it in your fingers. You control it as you season, not by measurement, by instinct. That's why professional kitchens rely on it. It sticks to the surface of food. It pulls moisture out. It builds flavor from the outside in. Same mineral, completely different behavior. One is built for precision, the other is built for control. But those salts, they disappear into the dish. What comes next, doesn't it, hits you instantly. And now it's not about chemistry, it's about sensation. Flake salt, like Maldon salt, is built completely differently. Not cubes, not jagged flakes. Hollow pyramids, thin, fragile. And that shape changes everything. The moment it hits your tongue, it shatters. A sharp burst of salt, followed by a clean, audible crunch. You don't just taste it, you feel it. And that's why you never cook with it. Heat kills the structure, and without the structure, there's no experience. So it goes on at the very end. Steak, tomatoes, chocolate, caramel. Because here, the crystal isn't hidden, the crystal is the moment. But not every finishing salt is built to shatter. Fleur de sel is different. It forms at the very surface of seawater, skimmed by hand before it sinks. Delicate, slightly moist, almost fragile, and that changes everything. This isn't a crunch. It's a slow dissolve, soft. Layered, controlled. The salt spreads, the flavor lingers. There's a subtle mineral depth here, a light brininess that stays just a second longer than you expect. This is the salt you use when the dish is quiet. Soft eggs, fresh vegetables. Not everything needs impact. Some dishes need restraint. Where flake salt hits you, the third layer is different. These salts don't disappear. They don't blend in. They stand out. They change the direction of the dish. First, Himalayan pink salt. That color? Just trace minerals, mostly iron. Flavor-wise, it's basically standard salt, so don't use it for taste. Use it where the eye lands first. Then, smoked salt. Cold smoked over real wood. The smoke isn't absorbed on the surface, it's built into the crystal. 1 pinch adds depth, warmth, that slow, fire-cooked feeling. But push it too far, and it takes over everything. Then, Namak. Sharp, sulfur-heavy, almost egg-like. Used wrong, it ruins a dish. Used right, it transforms it. This is identity. And sometimes that identity isn't just flavor, it's culture. In Uttarakhand, there's a salt called Pissyoon Loon. Rock salt ground by hand with local herbs, hemp seeds, garlic, spices, traditionally on a silbata. Not just seasoning, a condiment, a side. Sometimes the only thing that carried flavor through harsh winters. When vegetables were scarce, this added depth. When people drank less water, it pushed thirst, kept balance. Simple food, but never bland. This is what accent really means. Not just adding flavor, but carrying place, climate, and history into the dish. And finally, black and red Hawaiian salts. Charcoal, volcanic clay. Not there for flavor. There to stop you mid-bite. Contrast, color, attention. Think of these less as seasoning and more as design. Same mineral, completely different roles. And once you understand all 3 layers: foundation, finishing, accent, you're not just seasoning anymore. You're choosing what the dish becomes.